everybody. So if you'd like to grab yourself something to sit on, or just sit comfortably on your mat, so sit on a cushion or some yoga blocks if you've got them. Have any other props that you want around you, so your yoga blocks, belts, anything you may need. And then when you're ready, find a comfortable seated position, so either cross-legged or kneeling. You can sit up against the wall if that feels more comfortable for you. You want to have a gentle lift in the upper chest, shoulders relaxed away from the ears, and your arms just resting gently down on your lap. So you can have your hands facing up or down, as long as you're comfortable there. Good. Gently close your eyes and just take a few breaths here. Make sure you can make any final adjustments to your posture so that you feel comfortable, and know that you can move and adjust throughout the pranayama practice. And with your eyes closed, begin to become aware of your breathing. So pay attention to how the breath feels. So notice the rate of the breath, perhaps notice where the breath naturally flows. It may flow into your upper chest, perhaps more deeply down into your abdominal area. And simply observing your natural breath, becoming attuned and familiar with focusing on the breath. Perhaps noticing that as your body begins to settle, your breathing begins to smooth, perhaps begins to slow a little. So breathing in and out through the nose throughout your yoga practice. Unless, of course, you're congested for any reason, then still think about breathing through your nose, but have your mouth gently open. Otherwise, we breathe in and out through the nose. Noticing any changes in the breathing, and then beginning to direct the breath. So visualising a place about an inch behind your navel, and taking your breath down to that place. Directing the breath down the central channel of your body, and feeling your breath deepen as you do so. So directing your breath to a place just behind your navel, behind your belly button. Feeling the lungs expand as you breathe in. And then breathe out actively for a few breaths. So actively directing your breath deep into the lungs as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, squeezing the belly and activating the muscles around the ribs to contract the rib cage and expel the out breath. Just do that 2 or 3 times. So full active breath, actually actively using the muscles of your breathing apparatus, the muscles of your lungs and your diaphragm. Good, and then let that activation go, return to a natural, comfortable breath. And we're going to keep the breath and the awareness focused in the upper abdominal region. So if you'd like to place your hands on the front of your body, at the bottom of your rib cage. So if you can feel your rib cage, just place the palms of your hands gently on your upper abdominal area here. And then without forcing the breath at all, still a comfortable breath, excuse me, breathing into your hands. Feeling that you can direct the breath almost as though you are able to breathe into your hands and breathe out of your hands. Feeling the breath in the abdominal region. So as you breathe in, the diaphragm pushes the abdominal contents out slightly, and as you breathe out, you come back with the hands again. So breathing in and breathing out Adam Pranayama, upper abdominal breath. If you're familiar with that breath, release your hands, but keep your awareness in the upper abdominal region and continue to breathe in that way. And know it's fine to replace your hands at any time if that feels easier. And beginning to introduce a count. So we're going to count in and out for 4. So breathe in for 4 and breathe out for 4. Once again, in for 4 and out for 4. With your eyes still closed, just keep that rhythm going in your mind. So breathing in, 2, 3, 4, breathing out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. So the awareness still in the upper abdominal area, breathing in for a count of 4, and breathing out for a count of 4. Noticing any tendency to pause at the top of the in-breath or at the end of the out-breath, and smooth out those pauses so that your in-breath flows directly to your out-breath and your out-breath directly flows into your in-breath. Maintaining that rhythm of breathing in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. And at the end of the next out-breath, release the count. Continue to be aware of your upper abdominal breath. And then allow the breath to flow wherever it naturally wants to flow. So release the control of the breath. Allow your breath to be natural, but take a few minutes with your eyes still closed, observing any changes to your breath since we started the practice. So any changes to the way that your breath feels, the depth of the breath, the rate of the breath. Any changes in the way that you feel, perhaps taking a few minutes to focus on the breath has helped you to feel a bit calmer. That's often what happens with our pranayama practice. So whenever you're ready, gently draw your hands to prayer position at the heart center. Bow your head, seal in that practice. And then when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Get rid of any blocks that you're sitting on, any cushions, and bring yourselves into cat position. So coming into cat with your wrists underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. If you want to walk your hands further forward, that's absolutely fine if that feels better for your wrists. Otherwise, coming onto all fours. And beginning to mobilise the spine. So lifting the tailbone, rolling the shoulders back and down and lifting the crown of the head to the ceiling as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, tuck the tailbone under. Begin to push the back up to the ceiling. Push through your hands and allow your head to come down between your arms. So breathing in, tailbone lifts, arching like a cat, lifting the head. And breathing out, pushing through the hands, the back begins to round, drawing your belly in to complete that movement. So on your own breath, feeling the spine moving in both directions, taking it to its comfortable edge. And as you move, beginning to feel perhaps that each part of the spine can move a little bit freer, a bit more independently of the other, so we're no longer a straight line. Using all of that mobility in the spine to its fullest extent, from the tailbone, the tip of the tail, all the way up to the top of the neck. You want to make that movement a little bit more active the next time you breathe out. Draw in and up with the pelvic floor, Mula Bandha. Squeeze the belly in and lift your belly almost as though it was coming up into the rib cage, Uddiyana Bandha. And as you breathe in, gently release. And once again, breathing out, Mula Bandha activates, Uddiyana Bandha activates. Release as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, tuck the tailbone, engage Mula Bandha, draw the belly in and up towards your rib cage, chin towards the chest, Jalandhara Bandha to top it all off. And then release and come into a natural, neutral cat position. So we're going to move through a sequence now where we're going to thread the needle. So we're going to lift the right hand from the floor, thread it underneath the body, bringing the shoulder and the whole of the right arm down to the ground, resting your head down. Check in with your knees, check that you have weight evenly distributed through both knees. A gentle spinal twist. Next time you breathe in, come up, and then we'll go to the other side. So left hand threading under now. Check in with the knees, check in with the hips. Neck's comfortable. You can take as much weight into your right hand as you need to keep the weight off of the neck if that feels better. And then we're going to move a little bit more in that movement now. So keeping the belly gently drawn in all the time. Thread the needle through, come down towards the floor. And then as you lift up, breathe in, take the elbow to the ceiling. You can follow the fingers with your gaze as you extend the arm. So let's do that 3 times. So this is number 2, coming down to the floor, head to the floor. And as you breathe in, elbow to the ceiling, fingertips lift up to the sky. And number 3, coming down. And as you breathe in, lift up from the floor, push through the left hand to lift you, rotate the shoulders and reach up to the sky. And then place the right hand down onto the floor. Do the same on the left, so thread the needle. And as you breathe in, push through the right hand, actively push through the right hand to lift the shoulders, squeeze the shoulder blades together behind your back, elbow comes to the ceiling, and then open up with the hand. And number 2, threading the needle, and then coming up, lifting up to the sky. And last one, number 3, thread the needle and lift it up. Elbow first, then full extension. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and then bring the hand back to the floor. Sit back on your haunches now, so take your hips down to your heels, coming into an extended child. So keeping your hands extended out in front, your arms are straight and active. So don't soften the elbows, keep the arms straight. Relax the neck. And we're going to walk both hands. So take 2 or 3 steps with your hands over to the right. Keeping your hips where they are so that you begin to feel a stretch from your left fingertips all the way down the left side of your body. And then just take a couple of breaths here, releasing into that stretch. And then walking the hands back to the centre. Remember to keep them fully extended, keeping the arms nice and straight. And then let's go to the left. So 1, 2, perhaps 3 steps with the hands, one hand after the other. Both hips still settling down on the heels, remember. So we're aiming for that lovely stretch up the right side of the body. Breathing into the side of your body, the side of your arm, the side of your shoulder. And breathing out, releasing. And take those 1, 2, 3 steps back into the centre. Come back up into cat. Tuck your toes. Take your hips back to your heels. Push yourself up into downward facing dog, lifting the hips up to the sky. And then step your feet in towards your hands. Hands to the hips, breathing in and standing up. Good. Come towards the fronts of your mats and we'll work through 5 Surya Namaskar A, sun salutation sequence. So first of all, coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. Big toe joints towards each other, heels are slightly apart. Feeling grounded through the floor. So feeling your feet wriggling, nestling into the floor. A gentle activation in your legs, gentle drawing in with the abdominals. Then a lifting from the waist up. We're lifting, floating up, arms resting down. Bring your hands to prayer position at the heart center. Let's breathe in together and breathe out together. As you breathe in, lower the arms, lift them up to the sky, look up. And as you breathe out, take the hands to the earth. So soften the knees if you need to, especially on the first few rounds. As you breathe in, we're lifting away from the legs, lifting the heart and the gaze forwards. And as you breathe out, jumping or stepping back into plank. Chaturanga, elbows bending. Drop your knees if this is too strong. Breathing in, coming forwards with the heart. Once again, knees down is fine. Push through your hands into the floor to lift your heart forward and up. Then we breathe out, coming back. Push the hips up to the ceiling, downward facing dog. Breathing in here for 1. And breathing out for 1. Make sure the fingers are spread. Breathing in for 2. And breathing out for 2, pushing the ball of the index finger down into the floor. Breathing in for 3. And breathing out for 3, pushing the floor away with your hands. Breathing in for 4. And breathing out for 4, the arms are straight, elbows tucking in. Breathing in for 5. As you breathe out, come up onto your toes, gaze forwards, draw the belly in, and either jump or step your feet back towards your hands. Then take an in-breath and lengthen the body. And as you breathe out, take a forward fold, Uttanasana, tuck the chin in. Breathing in, we're going to come all the way up, soften the knees to keep your back safe. Stretching up to the sky, breathing out, bring it back to your heart. Number 2, breathing in. Stretching up to the sky, extension through the fingertips. Breathing out, softening, folding down, Uttanasana, draw the belly in. Breathing in, creating space. Strong core, keep pushing away with your hands as you come into plank or chaturanga. Breathing in, upward facing dog. Push through the hands, chest coming through the arms. Breathing out, back over the toes, hips high, downward facing dog. Breathing in for 1. And breathing out for 1. Feeling the armpits softening down. Breathing in for 2. And breathing out for 2. Feel that you can wrap your triceps to your ears. Breathing in for 3. Breathing out for 3, the neck still long and loose. Breathing in for 4. And breathing out for 4, pushing away with the floor, sinking the armpits down. Breathing in for 5. And as you breathe out, come up onto the toes, gaze forward, either jumping or stepping the feet back towards the hands. Breathing in, lift and extend, lengthen your body. Breathing out, draw the belly in and draw yourself into your forward fold. Breathing in, coming all the way up, stretching up to the sky, and breathing out, back to your center. Number 3, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, creating length and space as you gaze forwards. Breathing out, jumping or stepping back, plank or chaturanga. Breathing in, keep the elbows squeezed into your sides in chaturanga. Upward facing dog, pushing through the floor, active through your legs. Breathing out, back over the toes, downward facing dog. Breathing in for 1. And breathing out for 1, the tailbone's lifted high. Breathing in for 2. And breathing out for 2, feeling the abdominals drawing in and up into your ribcage. Breathing in for 3. And breathing out for 3, opening up the backs of your knees. Breathing in for 4. And breathing out for 4, pushing the heels back and down. Breathing in for 5. And breathing out for 5, come up onto the toes, gaze forward, jumping or stepping back to your hands. Breathing in, lifting and lengthening the torso. Breathing out, leading with the heart as you come forward and down. Breathing in, coming all the way up. And breathing out, back to prayer position. So another 2, up to another 2 rounds on your own breath, in your own time. So be guided by the breath, breathing in for 4 and breathing out for 4. Don't feel the need to rush. Keep pace, keep that rhythm of the breath. 5 working breaths in downward facing dog once you get there. Using Ujjayi breathing to help lengthen and keep the breath regular. We move forward at the end of the out breath and before the next in breath. And coming into your final sun salutation whenever you're ready. Again, be guided by your own breath. And keep that beat, that regular rhythm of the breath. Breathing in for 4 and breathing out for 4. The breath guiding the movement of the body. Finding stillness once you're in downward facing dog, allow the breath to settle. When you have finished your 5th round, standing in Tadasana, allowing the breath to settle, it's fine to close your eyes if you'd like to close your eyes. Acknowledging that warmth, that energy that you've generated. And then releasing your hands, coming back to Tadasana, the start and finish of all of our standing postures.